So what if everything you think you know about business is completely wrong? What if the real secret to building a truly revolutionary company isn't about crushing the competition, but about avoiding it entirely? Today, we're going to dive deep into the monopoly mindset of Peter Thiel, who's got to be one of Silicon Valley's most influential and, let's be honest, controversial thinkers.
Thiel just comes right out of the gate with this bombshell. Competition is for losers. Now, that statement, it goes against pretty much everything we're ever taught, right? We're told competition makes us better, that it's the very heart of capitalism. But Thiel's big argument is that this is actually a really dangerous lie. And if you want to build something that truly lasts, you have to unlearn it.
All right, so to really get why Thiel is so anti-competition, we first need to understand how he thinks about progress itself. Because in his world, not all progress is created equal. He breaks it down into two very different types. So just think about it for a second. When I say the word progress, what pops into your head? Is it just making more of the stuff we already have? Or is it about creating something the world has never seen before? This difference right here is the key to his entire philosophy. So Thiel gives us these two paths. The first one is horizontal, what he calls 1 times N. This is basically globalization. You take something that already works, like a smartphone, and you just copy it and sell it everywhere. It's extensive. The second path, though, that's vertical, or 0 to 1. This is technology in its purest sense. It's doing something completely new. Think about the very first smartphone. That's invention. And that, according to Thiel, is where the real, lasting value is made. Okay, so if going from 0 to 1, creating something new, is so incredibly valuable, why don't more people do it? Well, Thiel argues it's because most of us are caught in what he calls the competition trap. And it's a direct result of focusing on that horizontal 1 to N type of progress.
And we are trained for this trap from a super young age. Thiel talks about high school as this kind of asymmetric warfare, where top students are just battling it out. And it only gets crazier in college, and then in our careers. We learn to measure our own success by how well we beat the person sitting right next to us, instead of, whether we've created something uniquely valuable.
And this leads to what he calls the downward spiral of competition. You get so obsessed with your rivals that you actually start to look just like them. The fight stops being about real innovation and becomes about these tiny incremental gains. Thiel points to the whole Microsoft versus Google war as the perfect example. You had these two giants so focused on beating each other that they both kind of missed the next huge wave of tech, like social media and mobile.
So, how in the world do you escape this trap? It's not about just working harder than everyone else. It's about outthinking them. You need a totally different toolkit for your brain.
And the foundation of this toolkit is the idea of mental models. You can think of them as like different software programs for your brain. They're frameworks that let you see the world in new ways. Instead of getting bogged down in all the daily noise, they help you see the big underlying patterns and opportunities that everybody else is just blind to. Now, one of the most powerful models here is what's called second-order thinking. It's really just the simple act of always asking, okay, and then what? See, most people only think about the immediate result of a decision. But to build something truly massive, you have to think about the consequences of your consequences. As Thiel notes, the real value of a tech company often doesn't show up for 10, even 15 years. You've got to be playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. When you're trying to create something from nothing, you are, by definition, dealing with a ton of uncertainty. And that's where probabilistic thinking is so crucial. This is the classic venture capitalist mindset. You know you can't predict the future with 100% certainty, but you can understand the range of possibilities and make smart, calculated bets on the outcomes that have the biggest upside. And when you start to think in probabilities, you begin to notice this really strange but incredibly powerful pattern emerge. This number, over 50%, it hints at one of the biggest secrets in the world of venture capital. Thiel calls this the power law, and it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. In any successful venture fund, the single best investment will make more money than all the other investments combined. So what does that mean? It means that diversifying your money across a bunch of pretty good ideas is actually a recipe for mediocrity. The only thing that really matters is finding those 1 or 2 truly transformative companies. The takeaway is crystal clear. Go all in on a unique, bold vision. Okay, so you've got the mindset, you've got the thinking tools. How do you actually put this into practice? Well, Thiel lays out a specific blueprint for building what he calls a creative monopoly, a company that is so good at what it does that there's just no close substitute. Thiel's blueprint has 4 essential parts. It all starts with a secret, a unique insight about the world that other people don't see. Then you have to build an almost cult-like team to go after that secret. But even a great idea and a great team aren't enough. You absolutely have to have a plan for distribution, how you're going to sell it. And finally, you have to make sure your creation is durable, that it can stand the test of time and become the last mover in a market. Now that cult idea might sound a little extreme, but this story just illustrates it perfectly. The early PayPal team was notoriously insular. I mean, they hired their friends, they had their own jokes, their own way of talking, and this candidate, who was probably super smart, got rejected over a single word, hoops, because it signaled that he wasn't really one of them. That incredibly tight-knit, almost fanatical focus, that was their superpower. And here's another little example of that same kind of focus. This isn't really a dig at fashion, of course. It's a filter. It's a quick way to find people who are obsessed with substance over status, with what they're building over what they look like. It's all about creating a tribe that cares more about the mission than about fitting in with the outside world. So all of these ideas, from avoiding competition to building a cult to creating a monopoly, they all point to one single profound question. Is the future something that just happens to us, or is it something we actively create? And this slide just lays out these 2 fundamental worldviews perfectly. On the left, you've got an indeterminate future, where you believe progress is basically just luck. So your best strategy is to diversify, to hedge all your bets. But on the right, you've got a determinate future, where progress is a matter of design. You don't hedge, you make one big, focused bet on the future you intend to build. And this contrast just says it all, doesn't it? That indeterminate, luck-based mindset, it gives us complex financial products that are all about managing a random world. But the determinate mindset, the belief that you can actually plan and build what's next, that's what gives us the grand, ambitious projects that really push civilization forward. So if one mindset gives us finance and the other gives us space travel, the choice seems pretty clear. The future isn't some lottery ticket you just hope to win. It is a blueprint waiting for an architect. Thiel's message is a challenge to all of us. Stop fighting over the things that already exist and start creating the things that don't. Go from 0 to 1. So the only real question is, what will you build?